Just days before France's parliament releases a report on its Cold War-era nuclear testing, reports claim the French government tried its best to spin and suppress the truth. Documents obtained by an investigative outlet and seen by French newspaper Le Monde and UK newspaper The Guardian reveal that France's Atomic Energy Commission, the CEA, spent tens of thousands of euros trying to discredit scientific research that exposed the impact of its nuclear experiments in French Polynesia between 1966 and 1996. That's when France conducted 193 nuclear tests in the remote Morora and Fangtagoffa atolls. A 2021 book titled Toxic, based on 2,000 pages of declassified government files and dozens of interviews, looked at just 6 of those tests and found many more people were exposed to radiation than France had ever admitted. A year later, the CEA published 5,000 booklets and distributed them across Polynesia. The booklets were titled Nuclear Tests in French Polynesia, Why, How and with What Consequences. The CEA reportedly flew 4 representatives to French Polynesia to downplay the findings at a cost of over 90,000 euros or around $97,000. The CEA reportedly claimed that Toxic's authors lacked the expertise to understand nuclear science. It also claimed that radiation contamination was limited and that France had always acted transparently and with respect for the health of local communities. But the research perhaps tells a different story. One nuclear test in 1974 alone may have exposed 110,000 people, essentially the entire population of Tahiti and nearby islands in French Polynesia. That's to radiation, doses high enough to qualify them for cancer compensation. And yet, by 2023, fewer than half of the 2,846 compensation claims filed by victims were even deemed admissible. Why? Because the French government reportedly consistently underestimated the radiation doses involved, making most claimants ineligible. A French parliamentary inquiry that has already interviewed over 40 lawmakers, scientists, soldiers and survivors is about to issue its final report. At the center remains this very important question. Did France knowingly downplay the risks and hide the scale of contamination? France's own nuclear safety agency, the ASNR, has now admitted uncertainties in the CEA's radiation dose calculations. It also said it is impossible to prove that exposed individuals received lower than threshold doses of compensation. Furthermore, 46 of the 193 tests were reportedly atmospheric. That means explosions in open air, not underground. That means radioactive fallout rained down on civilians, military personnel and site workers before the testing moved underground in 1974. And radiation-linked cancers are reportedly widespread in the islands even today. The French army, rather, has admitted up to 2,000 of its own soldiers may have been exposed to enough radiation to cause cancer. French President Emmanuel Macron has acknowledged what he called France's debt to Polynesia. But the facts remain radioactive, and France, despite all its booklets and campaigns, may not be able to contain the fallout any longer, especially after the parliamentary report becomes public.